Welcome to the ECG podcast, a show where some East Coast buddies who have never met in person gather remotely once a week to hang out and talk about our love of video games and other shared interests. For this week of April 16th, 2021, I am joined by Mr. George Aravalo.
What up, what up?
Miami, Florida, of course. Zach Cassell from Boston, Massachusetts.
Patriots are restacked and ready to go.
Last but not least, we got Mr. Adam Gumbert from Lexington, Kentucky.
Hello. I'm not going to say any nonsense in my intro.
On today's show, we are going to be doing a little bit of friendly catch-up, diving into our impressions of Godzilla vs. Kong, It Takes Two, and Outriders. So you may have noticed we didn't have shows for a couple of weeks. I was in Costa Rica and everyone else was resting and recovering from their various homes. So we're back this week. I had a really, really nice vacation in Costa Rica. It's an amazing country with some of the best scenery I've ever seen and some of the nicest people. I mean, just top to bottom, everywhere we went, really, 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 really cool stuff. Did some hiking, some zip lining, and ate a lot of really good food. I got to tell you, on paper, I was not expecting the breakfast, like the Costa Rican breakfast, the typical breakfast. They call it the desayuno típico, to be very good, and it was outstanding. So it's I almost called it pico de gallo, but it's pico. I'm gonna like have a brain fart. What'd you say? My wife's shouting. What is it? Pinto gallo, thank you. So it's basically rice and beans that are.
It's gallo pinto. Gallo pinto. It's the other way around.
No, on the menus it says pinto gallo. I don't know, like if that's
like for the Americans.
Yeah, that's probably for you guys. But yeah,
maybe.
It's gallo pinto.
Gallo pinto. Really good though. It's like it's really well seasoned rice and beans. They do a couple slices of queso fresco. You get some tortilla wraps and then eggs any way you like, along with some grilled plantains. Really, really, really good, man. So almost every single day, that's what we had for breakfast. I'm not much of a breakfast guy, but I couldn't get enough for a while. Got to see the rainforest, the mountains, and the beach. So a lot of different varieties there. And of course, lots of sloth, which just was the best. Sloths are the coolest, most adorable animals, and we got very, very lucky a couple of times and saw them pretty up close. Actually, really up close. One of our last days there in Capos, which is like a little fishing town on the coast. There was a baby sloth, like literally outside of our room door. That was really, really cool. Has anybody here been to Costa Rica or eyeballing Costa Rica out of curiosity? Would you go?
Nah, man. But those pictures looked really cool. I saw the ones Marianne posted of the sloth chilling outside you guys' room. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, more pictures to come on Facebook for sure.
Did you guys feed it?
Probably no. It's a big no to feed any wildlife down there. Although I will say, like, one morning for breakfast, so like monkeys there will definitely steal your shit. They're super smart. They were like they planned like a little heist and they stole a bunch of like sugar packets and shit off of one of the breakfast tables. Like they just like came down off the roofs like fucking Planet of the Apes style and grabbed it, and they were just like standing up on the roof like eating sugar packets. It was
protect your ketchup packets. That's a thing now. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
There's a ketchup packet shortage in this country.
Really?
Because of all the amounts of takeouts that they are short on ketchup packets. Yeah, man. Look it up. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah,
What
ketchup.
they're not short on is Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A. Go check that out. It's really good.
Oh man.
I do like Polynesian. The Chick-fil-A sauce is pretty good too.
Chick-fil-A sauce, man. I need to get 3. Always 3 and 1 Polynesian.
Zip lining was a blast. I hate heights, and I still had a lot of fun doing that.
Over water or over land?
It was over land. It was up in the mountains. The last one, the last platform that went down was over half a mile long. So it was like 65, 70 seconds, and it was the fastest one as well. It went like 55 miles an hour. So that was like really, really cool, even as somebody who didn't like heights. A lot of neat wildlife there too. We did not see but one venomous snake, and that was on a night hike. Our guide pointed out was like a little baby tree viper, which I was thankful for. I'm not petrified of snakes, but They have two there that'll really fuck you up: the Fer-de-Lance and the Bushmaster. The Bushmaster in particular is really nasty because it has a hemotoxin and a neurotoxin, and result has a high fatality rate and has a striking distance of about 3.5 feet. So it's like,
Fuck that. Dude.
I'm glad
That's gonna be a no for me.
Yeah, right.
if you stick to like, you know, the trails and stuff, like they're not very like common, especially in the daytime. Like nighttime's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, until I go there.
I was a little nervous when we went to North Carolina. Was that? Yeah, I don't. That was after our last episode, I think.
Yeah,
I went to North Carolina. We went hiking, and then there was like this sign of the snakes to look out for because there's plenty in those trails. But then the ones that are venomous and the ones that aren't, you know. And there was a couple that were venomous. I didn't run into any snakes, fortunately. But yeah, no thanks.
Up in that area where you were, I'll never forget. I used to go for MLK weekend with some friends. I rented some cabins up in Oconee, which is like a little southwest of where you were, but like probably within 25 minutes of driving. And we were on a waterfall hike, and you heard, it's unmistakable. Like if you've never heard it before, you'll never forget the sound. But there was a rattlesnake that like we heard, and everyone just like froze. And we looked down, and it was in like the striking position, like next to one of my friends, and we were like, "Whoa,
nah, dude.
fuck!" At least rattlesnakes are not like the shit down in Costa Rica. Like, you know, it can definitely fuck you up, but it's like, you know, it's a super high survivability rate. Sometimes you don't even need antivenom, like depending on how bad the bite is. No less scary, but yeah, like that's one of those sounds. Like when you hear it the first time, you will never get it or mistake it for anything else because it's fucking terrifying. But
yeah, my biggest irrational, well, not my biggest, but like an irrational fear I have is just encountering an overly large snake by myself, and just like he just gets me.
like Anaconda, like the J-Lo and Ice Cube movie, like
I mean,
movie.
I don't know about like that big, but like yeah, big snake, like the
we
ones
said overly large, so
the ones that like the constrictor, man, the ones that crush you to kill you, man.
Are you
like,
afraid
that's
of being
horrifying.
poisoned or like being
Crushed,
squeezed?
it
Yeah,
sounds like.
crushed.
Yeah, the crushed one, man. Like that's.
I feel like that's
horrible.
really hard to die that way as a human. Like you have to be a fucking.
Oh, for sure.
idiot
That's why
to
it's
die
super
that way.
irrational.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
It's
Awesome.
I have a fear of like piranhas and stuff like that. I watch too many things.
Yo, they
growing up.
don't go after people though. Like if
Yeah,
you
they
put
don't. It's
your-
completely safe to
Yeah.
walk in there, but still, like I just all
I
those,
agree though.
how many like cartoons did you watch where they would just instantly and then it would just bones would come out at like
Did you ever
Nah,
play
man.
the Punisher game?
no.
Oh man, you
What are
could.
you talking about?
might
That was
have-
in the demo.
There was like all kinds of environmental kills. Like that was like the highlight of that game was all the environmental kills. And one of them, you take a guy and you shove his head in a piranha tank, and he
Oh,
just
man.
gets devoured.
Awesome.
Hell
Unfortunately, the way back, we had some bumps. My final night there, I got food poisoning really bad. Turns
Oh.
out like it's probably because I take antacids, which I guess like weaken your stomach bacteria, so you're prone to like stuff that normally would not make you sick. Like I don't think anything was ill prepared like at the hotel, but stuff that normally wouldn't make you sick, you're more prone to it because you're not used to that bacteria that's in like meats and stuff in small amounts. So it was kind of a miserable journey home. We also had our flight canceled, first delayed from like 10 p.m. departure to 5 a.m. departure, and then canceled at like 2 a.m. So I had to wake my poor dad up to come get us, and thankfully put us up for the night. And we rented a car for way too much money because the demand was super high and they didn't want to give me a one-way. But travel insurance, which I had, thankfully agreed to pay for it. So all's well that ends well. And that's my Costa Rica story. I highly recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. Like, and I was a little nervous about driving. If you have just a little bit of faith, like drive. It's so worth it to have a rental car in that country. Like so much more convenient, and it's really not too bad. Just got to be prepared. Like most roads are just one way in each direction, so you get a little bit of traffic jam here and there from animal crossings and occasional little fender bender or something like that. But all right, let's talk some nerd shit. I'm just gonna go with the order of the things here on the run show sheet. Start with Godzilla versus Kong. First big theatrical release of the year, simultaneously on HBO Max as well. Cleaned up at the box office comparatively. Not like it had much competition, I don't think, the weekend it came out, but pretty decent return to box office as far as receipts go, as things kind of ramp back up and get back to normal. I thought this movie was a blast. I didn't have high expectations going into it. None of these movies are going to be like Oscar winners. I thought as far as a all in all monster like brawl, it was great. I do think that Godzilla was should have been in like lowercase letters because it was definitely for me more of a Kong movie, which wasn't a bad thing. I think it worked pretty well, but I had a great time watching it. How about you guys?
I agree, man. I had zero expectations because I thought Godzilla King of the Monsters was pretty awful. I mean, did I enjoy? Was I entertained?
Besides
Eh,
the monster action, it's not a
yeah.
good movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
yeah. There's no plot wise, how even the acting, not a whole lot of redeeming qualities, but big monsters. As far as this one goes, like I thought this one, they had a much better approach to it. They weren't trying to sell us on some bullshit story like they were in King of the Monsters, right? Like this was mostly just about Godzilla and Kong and the whole what was it, Hollow Earth thing, whatever. But I mean, whatever. They had to come from somewhere. It was kind of neat, and the emphasis was on the fights. What I want to know is how the hell did the power not go out in all those cities that they kept fighting in? No matter how many buildings they fucking destroyed, the lights were still on. Like here, you get a little storm sometimes, and your power goes out. You got these guys using fucking skyscrapers as baseball bats and shit. It was a pretty
That's where you draw the line is the power.
Yeah. I'm just saying. But I thought it was a lot of fun. I did think that of course the little side quest up into spoiler, like everyone here saw it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So no have to
So
worry about
we'll get
spoilers.
into mild spoilers on the podcast. Here's your warning if you're gonna get
whatever. It came out.
Yeah.
But like the side quest, side journey of man, what's her
Millie Bobby Brown.
And then the conspiracy guy. I thought he was actually a nice addition to the movie, but it also felt like they weren't really doing anything. Okay, cool. They discovered Mecha Godzilla, but I mean that would have been cool if they did not blow that spoiler like in every which way possible before the movie came out. It would have been so much better if they had held on to that. Both from the trailers and I think some toys like spoiled it as well. Like it would have been so much cooler if this was a complete surprise in the middle of the movie. But nevertheless, it was fun. It was entertaining. I think it's probably one of the stronger ones in this revived franchise for sure.
Do we think there'll be more? Oh, I'm sorry, Adam. What did you think of that? I'll let you weigh in before I ask the question.
Oh yeah, no, I had a good time with it. I was just looking at a list of monster screen time in these movies, and everyone's always complained is like in the reboot, there's like too much people stuff. I'm like, no, looking at these run times or monsters, these movies are always about too much people stuff. I like this movie because this movie's like an hour and a half. So, and I think there's more monsters in this movie than most of the other movies combined. So I'm like, yeah, shorter run time, which means less humans and more monsters, which is, I mean, we see basically every monster that they've had up to this point. Skull crawlers are back, Mecha Godzilla, Godzilla, King Kong, the snakes in the Hollow Earth that like wrap around them. It's all I like the monster stuff. I'm like, they gave me a lot of monster stuff. I'm happy with that. Human stuff is dumb, whatever. The fact that they're like, let's pour wine on the computer and that's how we help. Okay, why are you here doing this? I don't whatever. I don't care because when King Kong put Godzilla in a headlock, I was like, there you go. I told you, thumbs. That's what's gonna be the difference. And it was fun to watch them beat the shit out of each other. That's what I wanted to watch the movie for. And
it also doesn't like really rationally explain why. Like, okay, so they lose control of Mecha Godzilla. Like, why does it just start targeting? Like, what's in the software that it just starts blowing up buildings?
It's Ghidorah. It's Ghidorah brought back to life. Yeah, because they used the skull from Ghidorah.
I just thought it was for the neural pathways or whatever. Is that what it was?
Ghidorah's alive.
It's kind of like feeling it. Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. Well,
did you guys catch that the kid in the movie was the kid from Deadpool?
And he's also before that. If you've never seen Hunt for the Wilder People, it is a great film from Taika Waititi, the same guy that made Thor. I almost said Love and Thunder. He is making that one, but Ragnarok, yes. So if you like that sense of humor, it is a great. It's got Sam Neill as well. He plays a foster child that goes to live with Sam Neill, and they can't stand each other at first, and they go on like kind of a road journey, and it's a really good movie. Got a lot of heart, and it's funny as shit. So yeah, he's a great little actor. Very funny, good comedic timing.
Yeah.
The Hollow Earth stuff, believe it or not, they've been building up to that. Like in all, like that's the most consistent thing. Like from Kong Skull Island, the original Godzilla, and I think even in King of the Monsters, they kind of like hint that there's like something. Not that it's any more plausible, but I was kind of impressed that they kept that thread going like through the movies. And I will say, we watched because my wife hadn't seen Skull Island and was like, I might as well like watch this. That's probably like pound for pound, as much as I'm a Godzilla fanboy, the best of the MonsterVerse movies. Like you
Oh, it
can make
is.
that.
I think
Skull,
so.
It is.
Yeah.
Skull Island. I mean, it's like really, really like solid. Like the cast in that is just top notch. And
I think you have a better. I feel like you have a more human connection to Kong in the movies. Like they developed a relationship with Kong a lot better, a lot stronger. Where you're almost like rooting for Kong the entire time. Like for me, I like my favorite scene, at least the one that was most impactful from like a plot perspective, was when he's trapped on the carrier ship, and he's like,
And he
God's-
signed.
yeah, and Godzilla's like he's freaking out and he's losing his shit because he can't defend himself, and not to mention like he's in the middle of the ocean. Like, what's he gonna do? That to me, like that actually gave me like a lot of anxiety watching him. Like, dude, let him out, like let him do something. So that was probably I think the one of the stronger scenes like emotionally of that movie, which I didn't expect. I just expected to be entertained by like almost like some of those Transformer movies. I didn't expect to kind of be like felt like I had like a I don't know a horse in the race, but that was really cool. Also, Kong with a fucking axe, like that was awesome.
Badass, dude. I thought the whole movie was awesome. I'm just I've been a fan of Godzilla and Kong for years. I grew up watching all the old ones because my dad loved them. So I'm a bigger King Kong fan than I am a Godzilla fan. And I love that they made him be able to go toe to toe with them to the point where, I mean, Godzilla definitely won. Like there's no way around that, right? But literally, like up until the end, Kong was like, I'm not backing down from him either. So how do you guys look at like? All right, so we already said was spoiling, right?
We
Like
pretty
so.
much spoiled the whole movie.
How do you take the end of that movie when Godzilla goes and Kong's at the end? He picks up the axe and he's standing there. And then, after Kong puts the axe down, Godzilla walks away. Like, how do you interpret that?
it's like some kind of understanding where I think the natural pecking order was kind of established a little bit. Like definitely needed his help, but I kind of take that as like, all right, like Godzilla doesn't perceive him as a like threat or like a challenge to his authority anymore. He helped them take down Mecha Godzilla. Like they kind of know they're gonna retreat to their own kind of their corners. Like Kong is very different than like the Mutos or like Ghidorah and all that kind of stuff. So I think like it's just kind of respect.
That's how a lot of people looked at it. Like Kong was like submitting to Godzilla. I think that was more of just I'll keep fighting you if you keep fighting me, but I'll stop fighting if you stop fighting.
Yeah.
So that's how like I just all right. Look, I just have to make sure Kong looks strong is all, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a beast. And that's supposedly, I think you were going to ask, Chris, like, do we think if anything else is going to happen in the Monsterverse, right? I think,
like, is there more? Like, they could easily end it here. Like,
it is. Like, they said that this is the last movie in the Monsterverse.
Kind of, sort of. They left the door open.
And well, of course, in the movies, yeah, but like on paper.
Oh, the writers too. Like, this is as far as they had planned, but where it goes from here, he said it's going to depend on what the people want. If people want
the movie was a huge success, so like
if people want more of it, we might see more of it. I don't know. I thought it was. I think it's a good way to end it. I think it's going to be hard to top. Like, I mean, where do you go from there to give us a movie that's as compelling as Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah, that's what I said. You really can't top that.
You can't top that.
If you wanted to be ballsy, you could try to do something that had no humans, where it was like some kind of like
that'd be fucking awesome.
Milo and Otis ass shit. What I guess they had voices, didn't they?
Maybe like before people were around, before civilization, kind of thing. What was that like?
Yeah, because I guess the rules were that like Toho didn't want Godzilla to emote. He totally emotes like in this, like. Maybe not like he doesn't smile and shit, but like you definitely know like what Godzilla's thinking. You know what I mean? Like
he's pissed a lot.
Well, but that's the thing. Is like Godzilla is looked at like a freaking monster here, whereas Kong is like humanized, right? Like it might also be from the fact that he's like a gorilla, an ape,
and
and
signing and
primate.
shit.
But like you very much. This is more about like this movie is a Kong movie, really, and they fight each other. But like, I mean,
Give me
Kong,
that prequel
like,
where like Kong's family was fighting Godzilla's
Hell
family.
yeah.
Like,
Because that's a spike from his ancestors' back or something, right?
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
I want to see the fight that ripped that thing out.
yeah, like give me that. Like I think you could easily, like, if you had a little bit of balls and it was done right, like you could have a tight like 90-minute movie where it's just like you could just fucking watch monsters, like I could anyway, like, and understand what's going on, like.
Not on the big screen, you'll get that animated, but just like the reason they would never do a Cybertron movie on Transformers, they're like, we don't have the money to make a 90-minute only CG fucking
True.
action fest. So
True.
I would
Very
like
true.
it, but I think that they'll eventually like give it 5 or 6 years. We'll get something else. Probably.
Crossover with Pacific Rim.
Make an open world Kong game where you're just hopping around the fucking the underworld or whatever the hell it's called, like the Hollow Earth shit. That Peter Jackson's King Kong video game was fire back in the day. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
Yeah, I
I
beat
got that
that.
1,000
If you
out of
beat it, you
1,000.
get 1,000 achievements.
Yep.
That was good shit. All right.
That's an awesome King Kong movie too, by the
has
way.
anyone
Like,
tried this?
totally different take on the character, but
Is that
Has anyone
orange-
tried this?
Is that orange Pepsi?
It's fucking okay. This is I was at Publix the other day and it was on sale and I was like, fuck it. It is Pepsi Zero Mango.
Oh, okay.
oh
it
yeah, no, not a
sounds-
fan.
Haven't
It
had
sounds.
mango.
Have you tried it, Zach?
I have, yes,
Oh man, damn, it's a damn shame.
because I
It's
didn't like
fucking
the
good.
Mountain Dew one either.
Haven't had the Mountain Dew one, but this is delicious, man. And well, zero calories. So there's
Since we're going on a quick little food tangent, I need to preach the good word of croissant crust DiGiorno, which is way higher of a quality than I ever thought a frozen pizza could get to. Like, it's ridiculous how good it is. It's not pizzeria pizza. Frozen pizza I don't think can ever possibly get there, but in terms of like where the bar is now for like a frozen pizza, it's fucking unreal how good that is.
So Chris, I'm gonna need you to clip this part of the podcast and tweet at DiGiorno because they will definitely respond to you.
You think so?
DiGiorno responds to everybody. Go for it.
I mean, listen, like it on paper, it may sound a little gross. My wife had her doubts, and after our travel debacles, I had one like stashed in the freezer for like just that occasion of like, what if we just don't feel like cooking? It's too late for groceries, whatever. And granted, tensions were high, but it was the greatest fucking frozen pizza I've ever had. I mean, it's not even close. Like how good that shit is. If you know.
it's pricey, but my favorite frozen pizza, and I tried a lot post COVID. It was a lot of frozen pizzas, in the short time after that. Screaming Sicilian.
Yeah, it blows that out of the water. That was my previous favorite, and it blows it out of the water. Yeah. Yep. The Screaming Sicilian, the Italian meatball one or whatever.
Yeah, the meat lovers one. The only problem with Screaming Sicilian is that they're out here charging like they're fucking franchise delivery pizza, man. It's like $10 for a frozen pizza. Like the whole point, it's supposed to be like $5 ish,
Publix has DiGiorno croissant crust right now for like $7.99. So
okay,
and it's worth every bit of that. Like, I don't think I can ever see myself not having that in the freezer at any given time, like just as an emergency stash, because it's that fucking good.
croissant crust. I mean, like you're right, it does sound gross.
It's not soggy at all on the bottom. Like, it's crispy. It's just like it's the perfect texture contrast for pizza. I couldn't get over it. I'm like, I want my fucking pizzeria to give me a pizzeria quality pizza with croissant base now. Like, I feel like
does the croissant have that little bit of sweet part to it?
Yeah. Man,
sounds interesting.
We'll reconvene when you guys try it, because you should like let me know what you think. But the bar has been raised, because I'm with you, man. Screaming Sicilian used to be my favorite. There's a new king in town, and it's croissant crust by DiGiorno.
Please clip that whole thing, please.
Okay, sure, man.
Wait, real quick, I want to jump back to
Godzilla vs
Godzilla
Kong.
real
That's right.
quick.
We were talking about that.
What did you guys think about Godzilla's new freakish athletic ability? He was like running around and doing shit that like you've never seen him do before.
Such as,
did you see the way he was crawling fast and like doing all kinds of stuff? Like, Godzilla's usually a big, slow. Like, look at him in the first Godzilla movie, and then look at him in this
I
one.
feel-
The way he moves is like unbelievable. They did
feel
it
like
just, I think, for him to be able to keep up with Kong.
I think it's part of those supercharged nuke powers that he's got now that make him like, you know, like
Sure, let's go with
basically
that.
roids for Godzilla. But you know what I did think was hilarious when you see Kong using his hands and shit, and then you've got Godzilla with the, you know, he can't do anything with these, you know, which I thought was pretty funny. But I think it's that, man. I think he's just like supercharged and stuff, you know.
He kept trying to get off that blast, and it's just too slow.
Yeah, that too.
With
Yeah,
that
when he
fucking
jammed
shaft
the
down
axe in
throat.
his mouth, man, that
Yeah.
was awesome. He's like,
Good-
you ain't doing nothing.
Good times.
Right
I should probably watch that again before it leaves HBO Max.
Still
all
haven't
right.
seen the Justice League. I need to get watch that.
Oh
Snyder Cut.
man, so good.
Okay, so you watch it. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that once we've all seen it, because I'm curious to hear what you guys thought. I really liked it, but I think it's in two
Literally,
sittings.
in when I say infinitely better than what we got, I mean
Yeah.
infinitely better than what we got. A totally different movie and just more coherent in every way, shape, and form.
I mean,
It's,
they set a pretty low.
It's not S tier Marvel, but it's like B+ tier Marvel. Like
I would
equivalent.
say, yeah, I would say it's like Civil War. It's not like
no,
Winter
no,
Soldier.
no. It's not that.
Yes,
good.
absolutely.
Are we talking like Doctor Strange? Because I like Doctor Strange a lot, but it's not S tier. But I like it a lot.
Yeah, I would say it's about on par, but like it's more epic in scope. So it's like a hard thing to you know, it's
Like Steppenwolf's whole journey makes sense now.
yeah, it's good. We'll talk when you guys have seen it. I would be curious. I wouldn't mind doing like a whole discussion.
It's
around
still.
that. It is a
I
two
gotta
sittings movie though. I like.
gotta watch.
Nah,
Don't-
hell no. One go it.
I
One go
mean, that's
it.
what I did, and I will say I was exhausted. So
I gotta watch it, but you still. I don't care how good it is. You still lose points if you need 4 hours to get your point across.
it's only because like you know I think they had to take so many shortcuts to get to that point. I don't want to.
I think I'm totally opposite. I hope this is the birth of longer superhero movies.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no, man! Come
Nah,
on now,
man.
man. There's only a handful of movies that could pull that off. Lord of the Rings.
I'm not saying every single movie needs to be 4 hours long, but like if you're gonna throw the level of I don't want to say star power actor wise, but star power like who they're playing, right? Like you need ample time to get everybody's story across, man.
Or you have these individual movies that.
Yeah,
but
develop
everything doesn't have to
characters.
be the Marvel way.
Yeah, it doesn't. But there's one
the
way
reason this-
it works, and the other one turns out to fucking Batman versus Superman. And
the reason this recut works so well is because it does develop the characters. Like Cyborg's story is my favorite by far, and I couldn't care less about that character in the Whedon. Like I was just like, man, this is such a squandered opportunity for a cool character.
barely even knew he was in there.
And he like his fucking story is great. There's a part in that movie that like I fucking teared up. Like I don't want to like spoil for you guys, but like yeah, it's good shit. Anyway.
I gotta watch it. It's on the
Batman
list.
drops an F-bomb.
It is a pretty good F-bomb too. I will
It
say.
is.
All right, so moving on to It Takes Two. I think I'm the only one to play this, so I will keep this relatively short. So from Joseph Ferris and team, it is another co-op game. So it is meant for 2 people and 2 people only. You cannot solo this game. You can do couch co-op or online. The Buddy Pass is back, so if you purchase a copy of it, you can play with somebody else. They don't have to buy the game, which is a really good deal.
Such a cool concept.
It is a cool concept, and god damn it, like for a game this awesome, like I feel like, you know, I'm like I felt a little bad for the developers because like this is the type of game I would say, you know, like it'd be worth buying to play with somebody else, but I understand why they do what they do. It's just it's so high quality. It's essentially a Pixar movie, and a damn good Pixar movie as well. Given that the subject matter like is a little heavy on paper, so it's about 2 divorcing, I should say, parents who can't stand each other at the beginning of the game, break to their young child that they are getting divorced and upset her, and basically she makes a wish. You know, it's a classic setup of somebody making a wish, putting it out there to the universe, and they're essentially shrunk down into 2 little toys and have to complete a series of tasks in multiple different environments to try to figure out how to get back to normal. Probably the best quality of the game is that each new environment has a different mechanic and it's never repeated. So like you kind of get a feel for something. The sections are fairly long, and by the time you're kind of burned out with that, like it's time to go somewhere else and have like a new mechanic. Each person has a completely different mechanic that gels with the other person. So, you're working together. It's neat. Like my brother and I frequently were like, damn, like if we ever play this again, I want to play the other person so I can do that other thing because it looks cool. That being said, you never feel like you're getting cheated out of like, something like where like being one character is like less fun. Like being both characters is very fun. Surprisingly dark in a very funny way. At one point, like where I left off was, oh my goodness, like just the most unexpected thing. If you ever get Natalia to play this, George, like I need you to be rolling a camera or like pull out your phone. I will prompt you
to stream it. I want to play
with her on
stream
because the particular part I'm talking about, like I like could barely breathe. I was laughing so hard, and my brother was like screaming in like just complete surprise and horror at what was happening. But it's good. You have to have a little bit of dark sense of humor, but your wife is gonna give you pure gold for the channel. Let me tell you. I won't spoil what it is. But yeah, just for I think it's $40 for this game. Like it is absolutely phenomenal. Like you feel the magic when you play it. Like it's constant discovery and wonder and just pure fun. I can't recommend it highly enough. Like I thought A Way Out to me was like a solid like 7.5 maybe.
It's
like
the same dude who made that game, right?
yeah, same.
Do you
same
you
guy.
have that game?
What I've got both. Yeah.
A Way Out. You got to
Yes.
finish it with me, man. I never got to finish it because Dow stopped playing it. So
Sure. Yeah.
It's on game. Well, it's on.
If
EA
you don't know,
Play,
if you don't know what happens at the
have
end of it, it's definitely worth seeing it to the end.
yeah, I have an idea, but
But yeah, so 7.5 for me. This is like a 9 to a 9.5. Like I would rate it that highly. Like it's really, really good. So I hope you guys check it out because it is by far like gonna be one of the best games this year. And the fact that it's co-op but not a game as a service is just like it's all the more wonderful in my opinion because those are harder and harder to come by.
right on.
Cool. All right. Any questions about It Takes Two before we move on?
What's
to
you
Outriders?
finished it, right?
No, we're halfway through because I went on
Oh, okay.
vacation. So tonight I think I'm going to be streaming a little bit more, or maybe I'll play over the weekend and stream something else. Haven't quite decided yet. I was thinking about maybe squadding up with you guys and Fall Guys, maybe if somebody wants to play a bit more. Yeah, any other? I know lengthwise it's about 20 hours. So it's
20 hours.
Yeah, it's a very long.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Game. The sections are meaty. Again, they don't overstay their welcome, but there's a lot of them. I think there's like 8 or 9 different like areas. So you get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah, hopefully she'll cave.
Just I man, you better be recording when you get to the toy section. Like that's what I'll say. Like
I'm gonna pitch to her that to just stream the entire thing.
And you
you
can't really fail or die, like like I've said, like I think off camera, like so it's forgiving. Like it's not like a game that you're gonna get frustrated playing with each other. Like it's super forgiving, and like I said, just a lot of fun. So any other questions?
Negative.
People have asked me if it's kid friendly. I will say depends on your kids. There's some mild like language and like I said, there is one particular section that's in the toy section that is very dark in terms of sense of humor. So if your kids are sensitive, like potentially could be a little bit traumatizing. No F-bombs or anything like that. Although there is a really cool Easter egg of the "fuck the Oscars" speech in the game that's bleeped out. That you can find. It was a lot of fun. But there's a lot of little mini games and stuff too. But I would say like, yeah, you discretion. If you'd be cool with like your kids watching like I don't know, like a PG movie from like the 80s, like that kind of Spielberg like esque, like they're probably fine.
So, hell yeah. I can't wait to play it.
All right, Outriders. I have not played. I kind of from afar watched the slight disaster is not really like that's maybe a little hyperbolic, but less than smooth launch of that game.
Oh, it's disastrous. We could say disastrous.
Okay. I wasn't there, so I'm like, man, I don't want to use hyperbole, but yeah, it's been less than smooth at least. Server launch, but people seem to like it when it works. What do you guys think?
So I would I like the game. Okay. I've played a good bit of it. I would absolutely say the launch was disastrous. You can't like, I don't think you can have a worse launch when your game is actively deterring people from playing it, right? Like either you're not letting people play it, you're kicking them off, or you're giving them enough issues that they kind of like they don't even want to bother playing. You should never be like, okay, I'm done. I've had enough. Like that's like I'm sick of this, you know. And it have nothing to do with your actual gameplay, but rather the stability of it. That's just not acceptable, man. And I don't know what we can do as consumers, right? Because like we put up with this shit. You know, like I'm glad this game was on Game Pass, so I didn't have to pay for it. I wouldn't have bought it if it was, and I wouldn't have played it if it wasn't on Game Pass. But like it just this seems to be a common trend, right? And then you'll have the people, the apologists, who will say, "Oh, well, it's a good game. It's a launch. You're gonna have issues. You know, like it's gonna get better. They're gonna fix it." Like, no, like, dude, like we think about it. If you're on PC, because the Game Pass doesn't work for PC or PlayStation, like
Yeah.
you paid $60 for this game and it comes out like this, like it's not acceptable. Like it's not okay for the game to come out like this. Like I understand bugs happen, but like the game should not like bar you from getting on. Like it's so ridiculous. And we just continue to put up with that kind of nonsense with games. And this is a game that was delayed like a total of like 9 months or so. Like it was supposed to come out in the summer last year, if I'm not mistaken. Like, what the fuck are you delaying it for? I understand COVID and all that other stuff is going on, but like how I don't know. It's insane to me. I personally did not disconnect or crash a ton. The first time we tried to play it, which was on launch day, couldn't get on. You could not get into the game. Yeah, and I heard that the issues if you tried to crossplay were even much worse. But we couldn't. It was three of us, myself, Ryan, and your brother. We were trying to play the game on day one. We couldn't get in the game. Maybe spent like 30 minutes trying, then tried it again later in the day. We couldn't get in. Then we just kind of shelved it for a couple of days, tried again, and then someone's always like crashing, hard crashing back to the screen, or sometimes back to the lobby. Sorry, back to the Xbox home screen, or sometimes to the lobby. But even if you were fortunate enough to only crash to the lobby, you could never rejoin the game. It would never let you rejoin the game. You'd have to do a complete hard reset of your whole Xbox to get back in. Man, just crashing after crashing after crashing, like to the point like it just becomes exhausting, man. Fortunately, the game saves progress like really well. Like basically wherever you crash, wherever you logged out is exactly where you come back in. Doesn't matter at what point in the mission you on, you're right there, you know, so you don't really lose a whole lot of progress. But I mean, dude, imagine crashing in boss fights and stuff like that. Like it was a thing. I want to say double digit crashes from your brother. He had more crashes than I did, significantly more. I think the people joining someone else's game would have significantly more issues. I'm telling you, double digit crashes every session that we played, you know, and every time that we ended the session, and you could see it because I streamed it. Every time that we ended the session, it was always because like that was the last straw. Like I said, we ran out of patience with the crashing. Not because I was bored of the game, not because I was done playing for the day. It was just like, all right, man, enough is enough. I guess anybody else want to add on the bad before we go into the good? I want to end it on a
Let me
positive.
guess, Adam, you had no issues.
I just want to say, I guess we didn't have any issues. I also didn't play until like Tuesday after it came out, so
Okay.
it had been a little while. That's all.
Did you play alone?
My
Did
bad.
you
I was
play-
asking my son to give me water. Would you guys?
Did you play solo or did you play with anybody?
No. So I played the demo solo, so I got that all leveled up, and then when I got to the actual full release game, I played in a game of 3. And now that I'm thinking about it, one of the dudes had to drop out because his was lagging so bad. He also has bad internet, but he did have to lag out. The rest of me and my other friend, we got through it no problems. But again, that was like Monday or Tuesday after it launched. Like they'd already cut off PC crossplay and all that at that point.
Were you hosting it?
I don't remember who was hosting.
I personally had significantly less issues, but it you know, it's your brother that was, you know, and he doesn't have connection issues. He's not disconnecting from games left and right. This is 100% on the game, you know, and the game even came out and said, hey, we know of these issues going on. We're working on it, whatever. What about you, Zach? Do you have any problems?
Yeah, we experienced a lot of the same problems that you guys did. We had a lot of crashing between the three of us that were there. Whoever was hosting seemed to have less crashes than the two people that were joining. And like you, George, we got off multiple times just because you disconnect so many times. You got to go through so many workarounds to get the people back in the game and shit. It wasn't worth the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I mean,
It's frustrating, man. It's
yeah,
such
definitely
a fucking downer, man. Like it's unacceptable. And from my understanding, PC was far more unstable as well. They had issues with the HUD disappearing, like memory leaks. Like it was a
the
lot worse on
inventory
PC.
wipe thing too
The
is
inventory
crazy.
that didn't happen to any of us.
Me neither.
Fortunately, we never got far enough to even care. But I heard about that where people just stopped playing because they were afraid that their inventory would disappear. Like that is insane. Like for that to happen in a looter shooter, it's crazy, man. Like the game shouldn't come out like that. It should not come out like that. So unacceptable. And but just we continue to put up with it as consumers. We continue to say it's okay and we just fucking take it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think
It's bad
launch
precedent.
launch window in launch day is kind of sort of acceptable. Like you think when like a new Destiny expansion launches, they got that queue and stuff. Like the first couple hours, I feel like you get a pass. Like if everyone's trying to get in at once, like there's no way you can unless you have a queue or something. Like you can't really do. But like once things stabilize, like it should be good to go. Like it's clear that they just didn't have the infrastructure from the outside
Yeah.
anyway, looking in like for the game. And I think that's more the issue than like everyone
I
trying
can well, here's two things to that, right? Like one, I can understand if there's, hey, as soon as the game launches, like say Destiny, right? The new update goes on live at 12 p.m. or 1 p.m., whatever. And there's a queue to get in because it's the servers are like everyone's trying to log in at the same time. Cool, it's fine. Within a couple hours, you're in the game. Once you're in the game, unless you got in like right away as soon as it started, like the game's gonna be stable. It's not and the issues weren't so much disconnects as they were game crashes. Like it wasn't so much as much.
Oh,
Yeah, it
gotcha.
was game crashes
I
were
see.
just
Okay.
as prevalent as you disconnecting from the servers. I'm talking like kicked straight to the Xbox main
Yeah,
menu
getting
or
dashboarded.
completely turned off your Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that didn't happen to me.
Those were happening just as much. The most common one was getting sent back to the Xbox, guide menu. That was happening as much as the disconnects, if not more. It was very rare that you would just disconnect and have to reconnect to the service. It was like you're getting kicked out of the damn game. And the game also has it gets annoying after a while, but it has like a short opening cutscene where it loads up the title of I don't know
Oh,
the
it's so
developer,
annoying.
and you have to watch it every time you relaunch the game. You can't skip it, so it's like extra. It just pour salt on the wound on the fact that you got disconnected. You can
And it's
imagine
so
how
loud.
you can imagine how insufferable your brother was through all that. So
I can. I remember back in the uh King's Fall raid. So what was the name of the expansion in Destiny back then? The one that everyone loved. Oh my god! Like you take away my Destiny fan card, all I can think of is King's Fall
Taken
raid.
King.
Taken
The
King.
Iron
Thank you.
Lords. Oh,
So like he was having some really bad internet issues, and we had almost beat Oryx, and Ken, who doesn't play in our clan anymore, was like, I'm glad I'm not at home because your brother's losing his shit right now. he's like, I'm feeling so bad for your parents because he's losing his shit. But yeah, I'm sure he was probably not too happy. Like I had FOMO until I saw our group chat and Messenger because I was at the hotel by the pool and I was just watching you guys all go off in the chat and I was like, all right, I don't have FOMO anymore.
now
it's all good now though.
yeah. So here's the thing, right? Like there's not a single complaint in that group chat about the actual gameplay itself. Let's talk about the good, right? Like, here's what I mean. Look, the story is kind of generic. It's nothing. I don't think it's anything to write home about. You're going to try to colonize some alien planet. You're the last few survivors of a fucked up Earth or whatever, and your guy ends up getting powers or whatever. I will say the protagonist, the main character, he's an asshole. That dude just kills everyone. Like he is. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny, but I could see how he could be a little bit unlikable because literally guy just fucks up everybody. Like this is not like Paragon Commander Shepard. This is like, if you piss him off, he will fucking one tap you in the head, execute you, execution style. Guy does not give a fuck. But as far as the gameplay itself, it is fun, man. From the very beginning, once you get out of the opening prologue, it's bananas, man. You feel so powerful, man.
What are you running?
I am a trickster, which I think is probably one of the strongest classes. I don't know. I think they had to nerf it. You know, it's that strong that within a week of the game launching, they had to nerf that class. So the trickster plays very similar to like Stasis Hunter in Destiny.
Gotcha.
You get this big field that slows everything down, so all the bullets slow down, all that
It's
kind
so
of stuff.
cool because you could see all the bullets going through it and stuff.
It's super cool. The actual gameplay itself is bananas. The healing, there's no like healing items or potions or
Unless
anything
you're
like
a
that.
technomancer.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think they do something like that. But the way you heal in this game is by shooting things or killing things. So which is really cool. It's neat, but it kind of takes away some elements of the game. The game has a little bit of everything. Has some little bit of Destiny, a little bit of Anthem, a little bit of Division, a little bit of Gears. Like it feels a lot like Gears the way you're playing it. Only frustrating thing is you can't jump. I really wish you could jump. But the game has cover mechanics, but you shouldn't use them. You should almost never be in cover unless you're avoiding some sniper fire.
Especially that class. There's no reason to ever be in cover with that specific class.
Yeah, like there's no point in being in cover, and the AI is pretty good. Like they'll flush you out of cover. You can't just sit in there like you could in the Division, just hang out. You know?
Is it as twitchy as like something like Doom, like where you're like just like run and gun like that much, or is it a little more tactical?
No, I think it's a little bit more tactical. It's not as crazy as Doom, but the thing is, the game kind of encourages you to just kind of sit in the middle of everyone and just go all out, and that's kind of fun to do. I mean, I've only played it a few hours. I don't know if it could. I don't know if that could get boring over time, but it definitely encourages that. We might lose Zach here in a little bit. So Zach, you want to give some positive thoughts before you get kicked out?
Real quick, literally my thing just popped up with the battery thing. I have 9% battery left. I left my charger at my dad's when I brought my laptop over there. But I think the good's awesome. I'm playing the Technomancer, so you know I like playing healer, so I like being able to do that and everything. I got the freeze. I do a lot of freezing. So I like doing all that, man, comboing all the different powers and everything with your friends and everything's really cool. I think, you know, the effects are awesome, man. Like the trickster, when he does his stuff and he turns like people and like to skeletons and shit like that, like it looks so cool, man. The Devastator, when he smashes down on people from the air and like just blood just goes everywhere and shit, man. It's so cool. Like it's over the top crazy, like in
damn, maybe I'll play this. It
embraces that.
Tonight.
It's
I'll play with you, man.
You guys are making me fun. It's something that wouldn't be a pain in the ass for you guys to like if I started a new character. Okay.
No, yeah, because I want to play as the Pyromancer. So I mean,
how many classes are there?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Devastator, which is like the tank. Technomancer is the healer. Pyro is I don't know because I haven't played as him really.
The caster, basically.
Like yeah, and the Trickster's like the one that goes up close and fucking see you later dashes and shit like that. He's got an annoying bug on him though, unless they fixed it, where he's spinning and if he gets interrupted while he's spinning, like he walks super slow and he can't get out of that slow walk.
I haven't had that. Yeah, hopefully it's a game's a bit more stable, but it's fun. Like when you get in there and you play it, it's fun. I don't think the story is anything to write home about so far, but the gameplay itself. Listen, if this gives us like, think of like the Division, right? Like, hey, if we play this game all the way to end game and then we wrap it up, like it'll be our money's worth, and it's free. And I hear the campaign is pretty long, like 30-40 hours long.
And the expeditions at the end are supposed to be like I don't want to say like awesome end game content, but they said it's pretty good. Like it makes you want to keep playing. So
I think the best thing is the loot, man. They do have that part down. And I think the loot is awesome. Like you're constantly getting shit. They're not stingy. You're constantly changing your guns at a far better rate than Destiny. And you're not like getting junk that's unusable all the time as well.
You got to remember too, like you're in the early stages. Like if you were to go play like Destiny 2 from like level 0, like it would feel like that for a while too. Like it's like the honeymoon phase where like when you're not end game, like, you know,
I agree to an extent, but you'll see why. I'm talking like at level 3 and 4, you get a gun with a perk on it.
Okay,
with pretty
gotcha.
unique. Like you're getting guns with perks on
I
them.
see.
Oh, the
You know,
perks make it. It's
like
so
very
cool, man.
early on. Whereas in
Nice. All
Destiny,
right, I'm excited. That I've decided. I think that's what I'm playing on stream
yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
So
in Destiny, you're not getting guns with cool perks until like end game type stuff. Here,
yeah.
you're getting them pretty often. Early on, they're pretty. It's pretty cool. But hopefully, the game is stable. What about you, Adam? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's fun. Everything else is awful. Not awful, but it's just like who cares? But
Yeah.
the game's fun. It's fun to feel like a god and run around and kill stuff. I have 2 characters. I restarted as a trickster, and I also have the pyromancer who's a little higher level. So it's a good time, and especially on Game Pass, like dude, like you can't go wrong. Like that's worth your $15 for the month just there alone. So, oh damn, Zach's out. I think his
Bye,
laptop just
Zach.
died.
Yeah, yeah.
Later, Zach. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to check it out. I think that's a huge get to, I said this, I don't know, on the podcast or Twitter, like I had zero interest in this game. I was like, I like People Can Fly. I would never buy that game for $60. Game Pass. All right, I'm going to play that game. And I don't regret that at all. Like I'm already a Game Pass dude anyways, but yeah, what a value for that. That's awesome. And the game's fun. It's a great time. I would not spend the money for it personally, just because I'm stingy sometimes. As I say, I buy a bunch of nonsense on the summer sale or spring sales, but it's a solid game. That's a good pickup.
Yeah. When I first saw the reveals and trailers, I was kind of like interested because I was like, oh man, this looks like a lot like Destiny. But then as time went on, I'm like, I don't have time to play 2 Destinies. You don't have time to play 2 looter shooters like that. And Destiny's borderline MMO. You just don't have time to do that. And I would not have played it if it wasn't on Game Pass, and I'm glad that I have. I'm gonna keep at it. The issue is like I don't want to play it alone. I don't want to proceed through it alone. I want to play it in groups, and it's fine given that it's free. I don't. There's no rush. I'll just play whenever somebody wants to play and kind of just progress through it. Because it is pretty neat in that regard. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would rate it so far. Like the gameplay is fun, man, but I could see it getting old. My early thoughts is probably like a 7. I might drop it because of the server issues, It could get better with that, but I don't know. That's my concern is like I wonder what it's going to be like long term, because if like I'm just sitting there in the middle of a bunch of enemies just kind of opening fire, like that could get old. It feels really cool and really fun right now to just fucking go balls out, but that could get old if it doesn't kind of have some tactics. There have been some pretty cool boss fights that I've had so far. Though, have you done the one with the spider, Adam?
No, I haven't done Spider. I've done Lightning Dude and like those. I think did I fight a spider? I fought one of the creatures. I forgot what they call it.
Yeah, it's like a big spider, and then like things come out of the ground. Like like some things come out of. You kind of have to run around in a circle and stuff.
They call them Snaggletooths. That's what I fought. That's
That
not
might
the
have.
spiders. I don't know. Maybe not. I fought creatures. Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool mechanics thing that look pretty like seem pretty epic so far. I don't know what the end game looks like or what that is long term, but
That's a game that you get to the ending and do one expedition, and you're like, "Thanks for the $15 a month. I'll never play
yeah,
you again."
that's how
Which
I
is
feel.
fine. Which is fine. You'll have a good 30 hours and have a great time.
I've had games like that where I paid $60 for. So if I get that for a game that I paid nothing for,
Yeah.
it's a fucking win.
That's what happened to us on the Division. We're like, all right, we're all going to like grind up and grind up and grind up for the raid. And then the raid launched, and like it was like 2 weeks before somebody beat it on console, and we were like, nah, no.
And then yeah, the problem with that game is like I don't know. I'm sure it's gotten better now, but the problem with that was like harder difficulties just means more bullet spongy.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't change anything. That's the one thing, for all its flaws, Destiny still has on top, on most looter shooters.
It's mechanics and execution. Like can you
puzzles,
organize and execute like
coordination,
yeah, that's definitely like cool.
Yep.
All right, well I'll have to check it out and report back. Let's do a little bit of what we've been playing, aside from the things that we've talked about, and then we can pop off for the week.
Yep.
Adam, I'll start with you, man. What have you been playing?
All right, so I've been playing a little more Baldur's Gate 3. They got the Druid for you guys. You guys all play D&D here. They added the Druid class, so I've been messing around with that.
I want to play that game.
That's really fun. It's really good. I've actually been playing like I said, spring sale happened. I've been going a little crazy. I bought a bunch of Lego games just because I wanted to play something chill. Beat Hitman 3 because was ready to do that review. Got back into Fallout 4 they have the FPS boost on Series X. Good game. That FPS boost is that game is smooth as butter. I'm like, maybe I should play more Bethesda games on PC because this is great. Got into Jurassic World Evolution again because that was on sale and all the DLC. And man,
isn't that game awesome?
I love that game.
Isn't it so fucking awesome, dude? I didn't know you were playing that. I beat everything in the. I want to buy one of the DLCs and play it. It's so good, man. It's so good.
I bought because all the DLCs together were like $19 or whatever, and I was like, Return to Jurassic Park was on I mean, you know what they are. It's like, but Return to Jurassic Park, it's like, hey, go play the old movie. I'm like, yes, I'm down for that. Man, and then I bought MK11 last night. I'll start that eventually. My main thing, I guess, I mean, I've been playing a bunch of stuff, is that I'm playing my third playthrough of Jedi Fallen Order, New Game Plus, 60 FPS mode. You get all the cosmetics and everything's unlocked. So I'm just going through with the purple lightsaber in 60 frames, just kicking ass.
How is it in 60 FPS?
It looks pretty. I think 60 FPS for everything now. Period. I refuse anything less.
So New Game Plus, you don't have to do all the collectathon shit, right?
Nope. Like whenever you walk past the box, it's already open. It's
Nice.
you walk in, it's
Sweet.
like 100% done. It's like,
I think it'd be fun to replay that, but just not doing all the backtracking and stuff. Like,
no, all that's the only thing you can do is if you like the echoes for XP.
Didn't they add like some kind of boss mode, wave mode?
There's like a training mode where you can like make a room. But the main reason I did it is because again, I want to play 60 FPS, and then you get spoiler alert, you get the red lightsaber from that one part of the game. So I'm like going through with a red lightsaber, just fucking everybody up. It's a good time.
Nice. That's a good game, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good. I hope Respawn, man, give them all the all the projects.
I'm interested to see what this season 9 of Apex is because they're talking about Titanfall stuff. So it'll be very interesting.
They're not putting Titans in the game, right? There's no way.
I don't think Titans, but just whatever. If the new character is related to Titanfall, has a smart pistol, I don't know. It'll be cool. I'm just interested because Respawn does good work.
Yeah. How about you, George?
Man, I've been playing a little bit of everything. As you guys know, I started streaming for the fuck of it. Now that I've got a PC webcam, I didn't realize that you could just plug in the webcam to the Xbox, and I've got a stream set up there without having to get a capture card just yet. I probably will because it's capped like at 720 or 1080p. It looks like shit.
Real quick, I don't want to interrupt you. The Xbox companion app on your PC, you can stream over your Ethernet cable, high quality into your PC, and then just window capture that and then stream from that. If it might look better, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, you can just use the Xbox app on PC, stream to it, high quality, window capture, and then it'll be 1080p or whatever you want to output.
So you're talking from Ethernet cable? So like my Xbox,
it goes over your network to your PC, from your Xbox to your PC, and plays it on your PC.
So do I have to connect it from my would be fine if it's my Xbox connected to my router?
And your router connected to your PC, that'll work perfectly. Yep, that's what I did when I used to stream. Yep.
Okay, you gotta show me how to do that off of this. So I've been streaming. If anybody wants to drop a follow, War George 7, WARJORGE 7. Trying to get that affiliate stuff. So I've been playing a little bit of Doom Eternal. I thought that would make for a cool stream on PC. Looks great on PC, which I was surprised. I didn't think that my PC could handle playing that at like super ultra whatever graphics, but apparently it can. I can't wait till I get a better graphics card though. So that's been pretty cool. That game is very much unlike anything I've ever played. I've never played Doom before. Yeah. I was like, why can't I ADS? What the fuck is going on? Like, oh wait, I can't reloading. I can't stay behind cover. What? Okay. Like, so that is that's pretty. It was pretty interesting, and it's hard, man. It's fucking hard. So I wish it was shorter, just for my taste, because I would, I don't think I'm gonna get through all of it with it being as long as it is. But playing it here and there has been cool. I played a little bit of Control. I want to say maybe like 5 hours or so. The Control gameplay has been fun, but man, that story does nothing for me, man. This story is just not.
Excuse me, what did I come back to? You bad-mouthing Control story?
Yeah. The gameplay is a lot of fun. I enjoy playing it, but
You got to get, like I told you, the back half of the story is much better than the front
Maybe.
half, and the until then, the artifacts, like the side quests, the little weird objects of power, are cool. That's like my favorite shit because
It's also
Yeah.
it's very weird. Like if again, I love Alan Wake. It's one of my favorite games ever. I like their weird like supernatural
I liked Alan Wake, and I liked was it Quantum
Break.
Break?
Quantum
Yeah.
Break.
I really enjoyed that game. But I think it's two things. One, there's a lot of things I'm playing right now, and I don't think the story is captivating enough to pull me towards it. And then two, I don't have the greatest like ability to pay attention to intricate detail. I do think that game story is a little bit too deep for me to like follow along with and stay interested. I do have a bad habit of playing games while I do other things. So that does seem like a story I need to pay attention to. I tried reading some of the little documents and stuff that you pick up to try to follow along with it. I get the gist of it, but it's not like hooking me on. That game also gets right to it. Like from the very beginning, like you're already thrown in the middle of like a shitstorm. But the gameplay is a lot of fun. I'll probably finish it at some point, but it's not hooking me in just yet. Game I've been playing the most, Star Wars The Old Republic, man. I am still not done with the campaign, and I have played that game for over 2 months. It is that long. There's that much content, and I don't have to have played any of it with anyone else. You could just do it solo. So I still highly recommend that for a free to play game. Like that's a lot of content, a lot of story content. And as soon as I finish this one, I'm gonna make another character and play that story because there's 8 individual unique storylines. So I can't recommend that enough, man. Especially for you guys that have a PC. It doesn't take much to run it. It's fucking free. I got some cool shit I can give you guys if you guys are interested in that. Um, it's really fun, man. Really fun. That's probably what I've been playing the most. And yeah, a little bit of Destiny PvP, a little bit of Outriders. That's it, man.
Very cool. As I was on vacation, the bulk of the last 2 weeks I spent
Loop Hero?
playing my Switch. Actually, I brought Loop Hero with me, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I'm almost to 120 stars in Mario Galaxy on the Switch, which was kind of a fun, just lay in bed and do a few stars at a time. I played back through Hotline Miami because I love that game. The soundtrack's great. It's like my second or third pass through that, and I think that is it as far as the Switch games. It's primarily those two on vacation. It's just because we were usually so wiped by the end of the day. Like that's probably the most like healthy sleep schedule I've had, where it was like go to bed at like 10:30, like wake up at like 7, like every day. Like that's not me at all at home. Like I'm usually like
You
stay
become a
up till
50-year-old man.
yeah. At home I'm like stay up till like 1:32. Wake up at like 7, like the latest possible before I have to like get up and go to work. Like, but since I've been home, I have been playing Loop Hero, back to it, and like I'm like right there again. Like it's got its hooks in me. It's good. I think about it all the time, looking up guides all the time, trying to figure out how to best like synergize shit. Anytime I get new cards like that I can throw into my deck, I'm always like, fuck, like what do I want to do? Of course, some Destiny as well. Although kind of getting to that point where I'm burned out on the season, where I'm winding down. Like I just do the bare minimum a week. And if I played anything else, a little bit of Persona here and there in my lunch breaks, like I'll do an hour here, an hour there. I usually save that for the weekends because I like to play that in big chunks like RPGs, but sometimes it is nice to sit down and just do like an hour of like social shit in Persona. It's chill. And that's it for me. Might check out Outriders tonight on the old Twitch because it sounds like a ball. So
Start the download. Question here, because I was looking on HBO Max and they have the Alien collection on HBO Max. So I know we're gonna start that. We should start that soon. Did you watch John Wick?
No, I told George, I'm like, if I had only known, he's gonna kill me. Actually, I think I already told him. There was like a drive-in like 3 nights in a row, like all 3 movies, like, and they had like a pass where you could go see like all 3 at the drive-in, and they were pairing it with Nobody, that new movie with what's his name, Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Saul.
Saul Goodman.
Yeah, that looked pretty wild. So not yet. Promise I will. It's on the list.
You
I
need
was
to-
on an action movie kick on vacation. I looked to see if it makes you feel better.
It doesn't. You're gonna tell me you're on
I
an action movie kick, and you're not watching.
I
the
tried.
best
I tried
action movie.
Costa Rica
of-
Netflix. I tried Costa Rican Hulu, Costa Rica Prime. It wasn't there because it's completely different. But I did watch the second Mission Impossible trilogy. So Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout. I hadn't seen any of those, and they
Okay.
were all
They're
fucking
good.
great,
They're good.
man. Like
They're good.
Ghost Protocol is my favorite. I don't know how people
So-
regard those, but that's my
It's up
favorite.
there. It's
I
right
think
there.
it's in Ghost Protocol. I don't know if I shared that story with you guys. You know the scene where Tom Cruise is running on the rooftops.
It's like any of those movies.
Well, okay,
honestly,
he's running across the rooftops trying to catch something, and he jumps across a rooftop,
Okay,
one rooftop to another. I don't know if you, and then he lands on the
pretty
ledge.
sure that also happens in multiple movies.
I think you're talking
No,
about
there-
Fallout. What you're about to say?
Yeah,
Is he chasing after Henry Cavill? Because
Yes.
Henry
Yes, I think-
Cavill.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
so he lands on the ledge, right, and then he pulls himself up. If you slow it down just enough, you can see him limp. He broke his ankle landing on. Like, if you slow it down, you can see him literally break his ankle on that in that clip. And he gets up, pulls himself up, and walks. Continues to like limp across to end the scene because that guy's a fucking nut job with the stunts that he does.
Yeah, I
He
think they're
just
top
broke his
tier.
ankle there.
Like they're really, really good. Like I enjoyed it. I think they're like on par with like the Bond movies at this point. Like
I think I enjoy them more than the Bond
I do.
movies. They're more
I like-
fun.
they're more consistently fun. Like the last three anyway have been.
I've always been an Ethan Hunt
Yeah.
fan more than James Bond any day of the week.
Yeah,
But
they're cool. My favorite touch from that is still Henry Cavill's beard just inexplicably growing when he shoots the cuffs. Like he even talked about it on
When he cocks his arms.
Conan. Yeah,
Yeah.
when he's like.
I didn't
the
think that
beard
was
just
his
grows.
finest moment. I didn't think that movie was his finest.
Nah,
moment,
no.
personally. He doesn't do a particularly great job playing the villain, that's for sure. But
He is fun when he beats the shit out of people. That bathroom scene is awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it is good stuff, man.
That soon, John Wick. But I'm in the mood for what I was getting at. I was like, I tried, they didn't have it, so I was like, well, I've never seen like any of these, like 4, 5, and 6 for the Mission Impossible movie, so that's like the next best thing. And I was like, all right, when I get back, John Wick, like I'm in the mood, like because I was like, man, the action. I hope that genre never dies, especially like practical action movies, like. CG action just doesn't do it for me the way that like watching people do fucking stunts and car chases and shit with like minimal CG does. Like it's heart pounding, it's really, really cool to watch. So
Adam, have you seen the dude that recreates the John Wick stuff with the Nerf guns?
I don't think so. I can
I'm
look that up.
gonna send that to you. It is
Okay.
the fucking greatest thing ever. It is so good. Damn, speaking of action movies, Chris, I just realized Mortal Kombat comes out next Friday, man. It's when I'm be driving up to Jacksonville.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we have a happy hour with one of the teams like right after work that we're doing, like virtual happy hour, not like literal happy hour.
I'm not gonna
And-
get there early. I don't think so.
Yeah, but it might be a fun thing to like have some drinks and hang out and watch at some point.
We're driving up like probably best case scenario like midday. I think I'm gonna take the day off, but I figure I'm probably heading out of here like best case 2-3 ish. So
Yeah,
I'll be
you'd
there by
about,
like
8.
eight
Nice.
between 8 and 9.
Yeah, we
in
can talk
the
Mortal
evening.
Kombat next week because I'm very excited to watch that movie the minute it
Oh,
comes
dude,
out.
yeah, it's gonna be bananas.
Yeah, I'm driving up to. Oh, you don't know, Adam. I'm driving up to Jacksonville, Chris's area to go watch. We're gonna go watch the UFC fight.
In
In
person.
front of a sellout crowd. Fully vaccinated, of course. But
Yep.
but yeah, man, should be fun. Can't wait. Looking forward to it, man. I just praying to the MMA gods and crossing my fingers that everyone stays healthy and no changes to that fight card because it looks fucking awesome.
Absolutely. And with that, I think that we're that brings us to the end of the show. Sorry for the brief hiatus, but we got to take vacations once in a while and unwind and recharge. So we'll be back next week. And until then, we appreciate you listening.
Peace.